I came up with the title, The Recurring End, for the show because I wanted to thematically tie together a group of work that I have been making for the past 4 or 5 years. And the work deals with things that are seemingly tragic, but tragic on a personal level. And what I was trying to get at with the name is that for one person, the end is the end. Things are done, but for the people that are around, it's watching somebody else's life unfold, but it's not their own. And I just wanted to deal with that idea of that dichotomy between the personal end and the overall progress that everybody else is still living through until their own personal end comes along later on. When I put this show together, I did want to have a theme of a kind of like a small personal apocalyptic kind of feel to the show. And it's not being morbid. I mean, I know it sounds very morbid, but as the older you get and you see people around you get ill and pass and see the cycle of life, you realize that that life can be pretty grim, and I want people to understand there's nothing wrong with acknowledging the fear and the joy that comes along with acknowledging the fear. I use a lot of different materials in my artwork. I repaint things many, many times to get it exactly the way I want it to be. So several paintings in these shows, they have upwards of 10, maybe 15 layers of paint on them. That's more or less some of how the process works and how I've made the materials. Other things in the show are more straightforward. I've got a few drawings in the show, and they're just charcoal drawings, and I probably worked on them for a few hours at the most. And it's a refreshing change of pace going from the labor-intensive nature of the paintings and also the time-intensive paintings to working on these rather liberating drawings that are something that I can see from beginning to end in a short period of time, as opposed to the paintings which can drag on for quite a while. This piece is called The Morbid Equation. I get a lot of people asking me what the number means in the top. The number refers to a mathematical equation that Isaac Newton did during his alchemical trials period, where he determined somehow the world could not end until the year 2060. This piece here is The Recurring End. It's the title piece for the show. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this one is that this is an example of something which is much more premeditated than most of the work that I do. The spiral shape in this piece here was actually generated on a computer. I knew when I came up with the idea for this piece that I couldn't freehand the spiral in the way that I wanted to. When I make a piece of artwork, I do not simplify it because it's going to be too complicated for me to do. When someone comes into an exhibit of my work, I want them to be able to come back to it and see something different in it and feel something different in it every time they look at it. Most people's initial reaction is to the effect of, oh, this work is kind of dark, or this work is sort of scary, or this work is kind of depressing. But I think as people come back to it again, they realize that there's an element of hope to it, because without the depressing and the dark and the scary, there's no purpose in hope.